name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, City Clerk, if you'll make note that we're all in attendance, with the exception of Mayor Saliba and Commissioner Kirksey at this time. First, we'll need approval of our previous minutes from the March 3rd, 2026 meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Communications from the Mayor and City Commission. To start with, we've got several proclamations today. It's great to see a great crowd here today. Our first proclamation is going to be our Purple Heart City designation. And Commissioner Dave Stock's going to be joined by our Purple Heart recipients to present that proclamation. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's such a special day. I want to thank everybody for being here for this event. First, I'd like to invite our Military Order of the Purple Heart delegation to come up, and specifically Mr. Delgadio. He's going to talk just a little bit about what this means to everybody in attendance. Mr. Delgadio.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
Before I bring the recipients in, I wanted to go ahead and provide a little bit of context to y'all about what this award and what this designation means. My name is Dr. Andrew Delgadio, and I am the State Commander for the Military Order of the Purple Heart here in Alabama. And it's wonderful to see you all here today, and such a wonderful dedication ceremony that we're about to make here for the city of Dothan. So thank you very much for that. I'd like to first welcome all of our distinguished guests, all of our veterans, all of our active duty military, today's event. And certainly not without any sort of fault, I definitely want to welcome our Military Order of the Purple Heart families and our recipients, as well as our Gold Star families. Today we have the honor and privilege of recognizing the sacrifice and blood that our nation has paid repeatedly for its freedom. In society today, it is common to blur the lines between being a wounded warrior and the distinction of being a combat wounded veteran. Combat wounded veterans are those that earn the Purple Heart and do so by being in direct combat with the enemies of our nation. They bear the scars of battle, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, and their families bear witness to their sacrifice daily. Purple Heart veterans are often quick to tell you that they do not wear the award for themselves, but rather for their Gold Star families and their many comrades that they left behind overseas. I wanted to take a bit of time this morning, firstly to tell you about the origin of the Purple Heart, as well as the origin of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. The Purple Heart was originally conceived by General George Washington and was the original badge of military merit. George Washington instituted this badge at his Newburgh, New York headquarters on the 7th of August, 1782. General Washington saw the need to recognize soldiers for their deeds, understanding that the young nation had no money or anything else to give its soldiers in the traditional sense that European armies did. General Washington decided to use a purple piece of cloth in the shape of a heart with silver lace around the borders of the award. To this day, there are only one known example of the original award. The first three awardees of General Washington's Purple Heart were Daniel Bissell, Daniel Brown, and Elijah Churchill. All served General Washington in his Continental Army and were present for the award on the 7th of August, 1782. The Purple Heart as we know it today as a wound for awards received in combat dates back over 90 years to the anniversary of Washington's birth on February 22nd, 1932. On this occasion, General Douglas MacArthur instituted the award as we would know it today. It was backdated to all soldiers, sailors, and Marines who had been injured or killed in the First World War. Of note, it is the most expensive award that the United States government issues and makes, with its metal heart-shaped base, purple inlay, and the likeness of General George Washington facing to the left and the Washington family crest on top of the medal, and on the reverse it still reads, "For military merit," as it originally did in 1732. Finally, its signature purple and white ribbon. A quick story from my first year of injury. I recognized that my wounds themselves actually turned purple as a result of the lack of blood. I'm sure this wasn't the reason that it was made that way, but it certainly means something a little bit more when in that context. Shortly after General MacArthur's institution of the Purple Heart as an award for wounds received in combat, the Military Order of the Purple Heart was established in 1932. This organization would hold its first national convention in Derby, Connecticut in October of 1933. The order, as it has become known, is congressionally chartered and has been so since 1958 under Title 36 U.S. Code, Chapter 1405, as the exclusive organization for combat wounded veterans. It is the only veteran service organization of its type that is congressionally chartered for combat wounded veterans. We do not claim to be the largest VSO with 43,000 members nationwide, but we are certainly one of the most exclusive. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our Vietnam veterans that are here today, as they served for a mentor for me for many years of my service, particularly in my younger years as an enlisted Marine. Growing up in the ranks, the Vietnam generation was the one that showed me the ropes for what I would need later on in my service in Iraq and Afghanistan. It is fitting that we gather here today at the city of Dothan to officially recognize it as a Purple Heart city. Dothan has dedicated significant effort and resources to our active duty, reserve, and National Guard soldiers here in the local area of Fort Rucker, as well as our many veterans and their families. Dothan has led by example and has exemplified the best that our state has to offer with regard to military and veteran communities both. You certainly feel that hug when you come here to Dothan that says thank you for your service, and more specifically, thank you for your sacrifice for the blood and the effort that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and guardsmen bring every single day when they do their duty. It is not only special that we make this recognition today, but it is something that we sacredly do on behalf of our Gold Star families, those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our community, for our state, and ultimately for our nation. There is little doubt that Dothan has lived up to the highest example of the words that I'm going to read today with regard to the proclamation that we make. Again, I wish to thank all that are in attendance for taking the time to recognize the sacrifice of our combat wounded veterans, and especially our Gold Star families. We congratulate the city of Dothan on their tremendous accomplishment and thank them for their continued service to our service members, our veterans, and their families. At this time, I would like to be joined by all those that are in receipt of the Purple Heart. Please join us up here. To all who will see these presents greeting, the Military Order of the Purple Heart Special Recognition Award is bestowed with pride to the city of Dothan, Alabama, for your dedication and support honoring America's combat wounded veterans and becoming a Purple Heart city. Presented by the Patriot members of the Wiregrass Memorial Chapter 2216, Alabama Region 4, Military Order of the Purple Heart of the United States of America.
hang tight for 1 second. We're going to get through this last part. But I want to start by just saying thank you so much to all the families that are here today. You know, there's a family behind every soldier or airman, Marine, Coast Guard, whatever. There's a family member behind them supporting them. And these individuals could not have done what they've done to serve our nation without you all. So I want a round of applause for our spouses and family members, please. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our military leadership from Fort Rucker for being here today, Colonel Cody and Colonel Paulus. Mr. Watson as well, thank you so much for being here. Our relationship with Fort Rucker is only growing stronger every day, and it's so important to this city and this commission that we have a strong relationship with Fort Rucker. It's not that far away, but as a retired military aviator myself, there's nothing more important than what we have with Fort Rucker for our community. And our entire commission here believes that and supports that. So I just want to thank you all for being here today. It's very important to us. Thank you again. All right, so I'm going to read the proclamation. There's a few whereases, so bear with me here. Designating the city of Dothan as a Purple Heart City. Whereas the Purple Heart Medal, established by George Washington in 1782, stands as the nation's oldest military decoration and a timeless symbol of bravery, fidelity, sacrifice. And whereas the Purple Heart is bestowed in the name of the President of the United States upon those members of the armed forces who have been wounded or have made the ultimate sacrifice while serving honorably in combat in defense of liberty. And whereas recipients of the Purple Heart embody the highest traditions of military service, having endured the wounds of war in the cause of freedom and peace. And whereas the Military Order of the Purple Heart, a congressionally chartered veterans organization composed solely of Purple Heart recipients, is dedicated in fostering patriotism, preserving the legacy of the Purple Heart, and advocating on behalf of wounded veterans and their families. And whereas the city of Dothan recognizes with profound gratitude and service the valor, sacrifice of Purple Heart recipients and acknowledges the enduring contributions of the Military Order of the Purple Heart in ensuring their stories and sacrifices are forever honored. Last one. And whereas the designation of Dothan as the Purple Heart City serves as a lasting and visible tribute to those who have borne the wounds of battle and as a solemn reminder that their sacrifices shall never be forgotten by a very grateful community. Now therefore, I, Dave Stock, District 4 City Commissioner, on behalf of Mayor Mark Saliba and the Board of City Commissioners, do hereby solemnly proclaim the City of Dothan as a Purple Heart City. Signed this day, Mayor Mark Saliba. So at this time, if our commissioners and our Fort Rucker leadership will just join us up here, we're going to do one group photo. And then I'd just like to say after the meeting today, there's going to be a special reception at our newly renovated Opera House for all of the military families and recipients here today. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. All right, we have one last presentation. Yes, sir.
It's fitting, this occasion today, and we're all proud, of course, of what you have done. And in that accord, we have one last presentation to the leadership community of Dothan. And the mayor is not here, but the city manager is. We'll point to you, sir. And a coin for you, Ms. Davis.
Thank you, sir.
And a coin for you,
you, sir.
Dave Scott.
Thank you, sir.
Dan Pierce, and then the last one will go to, they probably should have went first, to Jason Wright, who will also accept the mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Next proclamation, we've got two more. First, we'll do the Wiregrass Museum of Art. If Janine Wise is here, if she'll come forward to the podium. There you go. Okay. So we're celebrating the Wiregrass Museum of Art Youth Art Month. And Janine is our art educator and school programs coordinator. So I'm going to read the proclamation here. Make sure I'm reading the right one. Here it is. All right.
Commissioner,
Whereas Youth Art Month is a national observance each March that encourages students to participate in the visual arts. And whereas the Wiregrass Museum of Art supports this initiative annually by showcasing various works of art by Wiregrass Region's pre-K through 12 students in the museum galleries, along with numerous events and activities for our area youth. Whereas in addition, the Wiregrass Museum of Art provides year-round opportunities and resources for students to explore their creativity, experience meaningful learning art, and whereas access to art and arts education builds critical learning and life skills beyond the classroom, forming students who will be engaged, innovative contributors to our community. Now, therefore, I, David Crutchfield, District 6 Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem, on behalf of Mayor Mark Saliba and the Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Wiregrass Museum of Art Youth Art Month.
Good morning. My name is Janin Wise, and and as he said, I'm the school programs coordinator at the Wiregrass Museum of Art. Thank you so much for having us here today. I'd also like to take a moment and thank our sponsors whose generosity make Youth Art Month possible. The Caring Foundation, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama, Dothan Area Chamber of Commerce, Dothan Pediatric Dentistry, Dr. Kristen Crowder and Dr. John Flowers, and Publix Supermarket Charities. Thank you. Since 1991, the main gallery at the Wiregrass Museum of Art has been transformed into a vibrant celebration of youth artwork every March. 2026 was another record-breaking year with 894 submissions from over 40 schools and organizations, including public, private, homeschool, and private studios from across 8 counties in the Wiregrass. In the end, we were able to accept 161 works from all over the Wiregrass, spanning multiple mediums and including works from students from pre-K 3 all the way up to 12th grade. But why do we disrupt our main gallery for an exhibition that will only be on display during the month of March? Why does youth art matter? With this year being not only our 35th anniversary of Youth Art Month, but also the 250th anniversary of our nation, I thought I might let President Lyndon B. Johnson answer when he said, "Art is a nation's most precious heritage. For it is our works of art that we reveal to ourselves and to others the inner vision which guides us as a nation." In fact, at least 4 of our presidents have themselves joined the ranks of amateur artists. Presidents Ulysses S. Grant, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Jimmy Carter, and George W. Bush. I could go on, but it's clear that by supporting the arts and young artists, we are supporting our community by helping prepare our youth for the future. Now to announce our Youth on Earth winners. We truly believe that every artist with a work of art on display is a winner. However, there are 11 students who we would especially like to recognize today, representing Kelly Springs, Houston Academy, Dothan Preparatory Academy, Wicksburg Elementary, and Pike Road, Enterprise, and Dothan High Schools. We are pleased to have the following artists with us. If my artists will join us up here, go ahead and walk across. For the Wiregrass Museum of Art Awards, we have Noria Shali, a second grader at Kelly Springs. Zykeenan McCrae, a fourth grader at Kelly Springs. Maylee Joy Level, an 11th grader at Pike Road High School. Best in Show, we have Hannah Rose War, a 10th grader at Dothan High School. The Youth Art Month Award winner will be on display at Dothan Pediatric, and that is Kenesha Stackhouse, an 8th grader from Dothan Prep. We also have the Dothan Area Chamber of Commerce Award winner that will be on display at the Chamber of Commerce. Ishil Shahid, a first grader at Kelly Springs. And then we have the Houston County Award winner that will be on display at the Houston County Commission office. Mary Gaines Carter, a sixth grader at Wicksburg Elementary. Let's give our winners a round of applause. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you, the members of City Council, for your time today and your continued support. Art elevates the everyday, and these young artists absolutely elevate the Wiregrass. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the museum.
Good job, guys.
Next proclamation is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Von Bloomberg Services Executive Director Dana Strickland and Associate Executive Director of Administration Shannon Hilson. Whereas individuals with developmental disabilities are valued members of our community, contributing their talents, perspectives, and spirit to enrich the lives of all. And whereas Von Bloomberg Services has for decades provided compassionate, person-centered support to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Houston County, empowering them to live with dignity, independence, and purpose. And whereas the employees, volunteers, and advocates of Von Bloomberg Services work tirelessly to promote inclusion, break down barriers, and create opportunities for education, employment, and community engagement. And whereas the mission and impact of Von Bloomberg Services exemplifies the values of compassion, respect, and quality that strengthens our community. Now, therefore, I, David Crutchfield, this was marked up wrong, District 6 Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem, on behalf of Mayor Mark Saliba, and in such capacity, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the city of Dothan, and call upon citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in the city of Dothan to recommit our community to increasing awareness, support, and understanding of the developmental disabilities. Say something.
Thank y'all so much for this proclamation. We appreciate the recognition. Von Bloomberg, as he said, for decades has provided services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in a residential setting and as well as a day hab setting. This also allows families and guardians to work out in the community and know that their individual is taken care of. We strive to enrich their lives and to assist them in goals and things that will help them become more independent because that helps everybody. It helps their confidence and it helps the guardians and the ones that are taking care of them. They're a huge part of our community, and we want to, we stress getting them out into the community where they are seen. You may have seen our buses, you may have seen some they love to go out to eat, things like that. But, and please feel free if you see them out in the community, please come up and speak to them. And they love, talking with people. But they are a huge part of our community, and we want to make sure that they have the dignity and respect that they deserve and live the most least restrictive life that they possibly can. We provide services as well for babies from birth to age 3 with early diagnosis of developmental disabilities with speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy to try to get them meeting milestones before they enter school. We help with supported employment. We try to identify employers in the community that are willing to give one of our individuals a shot, and we work with them with job coaching and helping them with interview skills and things like that. And we also provide staff or coaching after the fact once they've gotten a job out in the community, and that just really helps with their independence. They love being able to earn their own money and be able to buy things that they need. So we certainly appreciate the support of the the commission here and the city of Dothan, and we look forward to our relationship going forward. Thank you so much.
Next up, we'll have our communications for mayor, right here, communication from our mayor and city managers. We're in that section now, so we'll start with Commissioner Daniels, if you've got any comments.
Good morning, fellow commissioners, city officials, and to everyone in attendance, happy spring. I am honored to share that we recently traveled to Washington, D.C. from March 16th through 18th to attend the National League of Cities Congressional City Conference 2026. This experience was more than a trip, it was a mission. The networking, education, and the knowledge gained is priceless. Let us keep pushing forward, supporting one another, and doing the work that truly makes a difference. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Just want to say we appreciate the service of those honorable servicemen, women and men that were here that paid some of the ultimate sacrifice and also that serve our country in the most profound way. So we want to say thank you and we appreciate the service. Also want to say congratulations to the young people who've taken place and taken an interest in art, and we thank you for their contributions as well.
Only comment I have is I'm just very appreciative of everybody's service and all the veterans that come in this morning. That's it.
Well, again, good morning. I just want to say how excited I am for our city and for all the things that we've been doing just in the last 6 months that I've served on this commission. Not only what we saw today and how we're able to honor our Purple Heart recipients, but just the ties that we are forging not only stronger and deeper in the local community, but also at the national level, and the things that this commission is doing for our city in D.C. and around the state. It's just really great to see the fruits of the labor, but also there's so much more coming that we're just excited about. There's a lot of great things happening. So I just want to thank the city manager and all of the staff that's been supportive. Of course, today, Mr. Jason Wright had a huge part of that with that ceremony, so we want to thank Jason publicly for helping to get all that put together for us. There's one issue I do want to talk about, and it's not only my constituents. If you log on to any social media for neighborhood networks, you'll probably see all kinds of challenges with Brightspeed and some very aggressive salespeople. And I'm just going to ask the city manager, I know we've looked at this before. We've had constituents call and voice some concerns. Well, now I'm telling you firsthand, I know exactly what they're talking about because they were very rude at my front door when I politely said we don't need them and so forth. So I just want us to, we support business in town, but if we're crossing the line between aggressive and getting to harassment, our constituents deserve better. So we need to look into that. And then lastly, there's a big nonprofit organization that's getting ready to put on an awesome event at the National Peanut Festival, and it's going to be called Freedom Ignited. And I want to thank our city, our leadership, our fire and police for partnering and helping them to put this on. This is going to be a fundraiser for veterans and veteran service organizations in our community. It's going to be probably one of the biggest fireworks spectaculars you'll ever see. It's on Armed Forces Day, so it's coming up May 16th. And it's just going to be a really great event, and all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds are going to local veterans organizations. And so I'm just proud that our city, again, is helping to support some of these great efforts within our community, and that's all. Thank you very much.
Just a couple things. First and foremost, wanted to recognize a couple people that I see here today. The first being Andy McDuffie, one of my great friends. We played high school football together. And, you know, this morning kind of brought back that memory of Mom calling me, I believe, as soon as she found out that you had been injured, and the impact that had on me and obviously your life and all the Purple Heart recipients. So thank you for what you've done, Andy, and continue to do for the city of Dothan. The second person is Mr. Fretz. I see you in the front row, and I wanted to thank you for allowing, or at least putting your son on a path to serve this community as captain of one of our fire department. And also had the opportunity to meet your son in D.C. last week for the Secret Service. So y'all should be very proud of both of your sons and the capacity that they serve in. So thank you very much. Second thing I wanted to do, we had an announcement this morning with CPI, Construction Partners in District 5. $20 million investment, 60-plus jobs. It's going to be an incredible place for their headquarters, so very excited about that. City Manager, thank you to you and the staff that have assisted in that. Also wanted to recognize Jason Wright for really taking the bull by the horns with the Purple Heart designation. That was great, and thank you for all you've done thus far for that and last week in D.C. So that's all I've got.
Great. Okay. I think everybody's mentioned pretty much what I was going to make, but I can't not pass on, you know, those Purple Heart recipients and anybody that served our country. We deserve, you deserve all our gratitude. So I appreciate everybody that has served and their families who support them as well. So I just want to mention a couple things here that, you know, the things that are going on in Dothan. So I had the opportunity to go to a couple of events over the last couple of weeks here. So SEAC, Annie, CDAC had the greatest show. The plant had a blues festival. Thank you, Joe. Enjoyed it. I even went to the Tailor Made Festival. So within, is that a 10-mile, 5-mile radius, whatever, there's so many things going on. And I like to thank Clay Dempsey for that, for a lot of your efforts in that. And I'm sure there was something that was going on at Porter Park that I missed. Oh, I missed the Sandlot. I missed the movie. Sorry. It was almost my bedtime when that started at 7. So there's just a lot of things going on. We went to the CPI groundbreaking this morning. That's a major investment in the city. So shout out. We hadn't yet, I guess, shout out to our chamber, to Matt Parker and Colton Curitan on all they do, and in conjunction with the city manager, mayor, the county as well, on bringing these type of investments to this community. So, and I consider it's one big community. I mean, it doesn't matter. Anything in the Wiregrass is great for all of us. So thank you for that. Now we'll turn it over to the city manager for any communications.
Thank you, sir. First, I'd like to invite up Mr. John Parrish with the fire department. So we've got a retirement certificate today. To all who shall see this, greetings. This is the certified John C. Parrish, having served faithfully and rendered outstanding service in the public sector, has retired from the city of Dothan, Alabama, with 28 years, 4 months, and 10 days of credible service on this first day of April in the year of our Lord, 2026. Thank you very much for all your years of dedication, and I hope you enjoy your time.
So, good morning again, everyone. I would like to just say a couple of things about Captain Paramedic John Parrish there. He's been with us for over 28 years. That's an awesome feat for us. And commissioners, thank you all for allowing us time to come and recognize our members as we stay more than 25 years. He's been with us over 28 years. So he's put in a great service. He's an outstanding employee. We're going to miss him. He's been a captain for many years down at Station 2. So if you don't know what Station 2 is, it's the station down on South Park Avenue. And it's our special ops station. So they do everything that's kind of special, tech rescue, hazmat, Well, that's where John has really dove off into and gotten really deep into hazmat. So if there's a hazmat question, he's our guy. So there's going to be a void when he retires. So we're going to miss him there, but we're congratulating him on this. And we want to thank him for his service, and that's what we're here today to do. So thank you guys for allowing us to do that. I just want to say one more time, thank you, John Parrish.
I want to thank my Lord for being able to be here. I've seen a lot. The men and women of the Dothan Fire Department is a very good group of people. Those of you who don't know the sweat and grit and the time that you're away from family. I want to thank my family, my friends, and all of y'all for having this opportunity.
Thank you.
Next, we've got an update on the Forestry Accelerator at the Wiregrass Innovation Center. Mr. Justice Black, Program Manager of the Alabama Forestry Accelerator at Generator.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I just want to be brief on today. I mean, as we acknowledge so many heroes, it feels like the work that I do is minuscule. But I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you so much to the commission and to the city manager for believing in a program like what we're doing at Generator that sees genius in each community and invests in it accordingly. Again, the trust that the city has in us is buoyed by great partnerships, the most of which being Hudson Alpha Wiregrass, and to be able to share in the Wiregrass Innovation Center as one of the primary tenants and early tenants is truly an honor. I won't go through each and every company, but the main gist of my update today is that we have already, since moving in on March the 2nd, started the first cohort of 5 companies, 4 of which based right here in Alabama, the 5th based out of Mississippi, with its primary user case for all farmers in Alabama is already underway. We're in the 3rd week of an accelerator cohort that is bringing innovative solutions to the forestry industry, and we invite you all to meet those companies over the course of this accelerator program, primarily on October 8th and the 28th via a showcase that we'll be having at the Wiregrass Innovation Center. So again, thank you so much for all of your support. We are starting to see it in motion as solutions are starting to come from the wiregrass to the world based off of the work that we're doing together. So thank you again on behalf of Generator.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just like you mentioned, all the things going around in town. So this Saturday, we have our park concert series starting again at Porter Park with Sax Squatch with DJ Rush Hour. Music starts at 5:30 and Sax Squatch starts at 7. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're at item 7 on our agenda. It's communications from the city clerk. First, we've got an application for a retail beer and retail table wine license off premises only for Beeline 505 located at 1421 Westgate Parkway. If there's anyone here present who'd like to speak on this matter, please come to the podium. Nope. Seeing no one, we'll move on to our next item. I'm sorry, we need a motion and a second for approval here.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Our next is an application for a retail beer and retail table wine license off premises only for Beeline 515 located at 409 East Newton Street. If there's anyone who wants to speak on this item, please come to the podium. No one outside, no one here, inside. All right. We'll look for a motion and a second then.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, yay?
Yay.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. All right. Item number 8 on our agenda is a public hearing regarding the amendment of Chapter 114, zoning Articles 2, 6, and 10 of the City of Dothan Code of Ordinances to update definitions and regulations, and this will be referenced to ordinance 10, item number 10 here later. So if there's anyone that wants to speak on this, if you would please come to the podium. No one outside. All right, I will declare this public hearing closed. Item number 9, public hearing regarding the rezoning of approximately 13.36 acres located at 105 Luther Way. We'll reference this in item 11 later. Anyone who would like to, as president, wants to come speak, please come to the podium. We've got one. Okay, Coach. All right, if you just please state your name, and they've got 3 minutes there.
My name is Jimmy Golden. I live at 105 Captain Court, and my property touches the property that's in question on this rezoning. I'm for the rezoning and the way it's stated. I'm just concerned about what size homes are going to come in that area due to the fact that the people that live on my street in 105 Captain Court, their property value, if it's not done, the Lutheran church there put in their advertisement to sell, they wanted to have it 2,000 square foot homes in there, and I'm all for that. I just don't want anything less than that because of the value of our homes will go down, and that's one of my concerns on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll close this public hearing then. All right, item number 10 is ordinance 2026-62, amending Chapter 114, zoning articles 2, 6, and 10 of the Dothan Code of Ordinances to update definitions and regulations.
Motion for immediate consideration.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11 is ordinance number 2026-63, rezoning property owned by Water Oak 12 LLC located at 105 Luther Way from AC Agriculture Conservation District to R1 Residential Single Family Low Density District.
Motion for immediate consideration.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed?
Motion for approval.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Just for Coach's clarity and mine too, R1, what are the restrictions for R1?
To answer the gentleman's question, there's a 1,200 square foot minimum house required on the lot. Lots have to be at least 12,000 square feet. And setbacks are 30 on the front, 35 in the rear, and 10 feet on the sides.
What is the process that whoever develops this has to go through at this point if it's rezoned?
If you rezone it today, then the next step for them will be subdivision approval. And that will come to the Planning Commission with the plans in conjunction with our partners at Public Works. We'll review the documents and make sure they meet the minimum standards as y'all have adopted.
So Todd, I know you can't guarantee it, you haven't seen the plan yet, but do many people on an R1 lot, which is a big lot, build houses that are that small? I mean, are most of the, I know you can't be 100%, most of the time I would think they would be more in that 2,000 range or so. Is that?
Land economics pretty much takes care of that. It's hard to build a 1,200 square foot house anymore. So yeah, I would think 2,000 would probably be the minimum size house that will be in there.
But no guarantee, because you don't know if you see the plans, it could
All
be.
we can do is guarantee the 1,200.
Okay.
There is if they're going to plan on building a smaller house, seems like they would be wanting a more R3 or R4, but there's a tow yard or something behind there. And being in my district, you know, the tow yard's kind of there first. Am I going to have to field a bunch of calls about them fussing about the tow yard that was there first?
You very well might, Commissioner.
Well then, number two then is that going to cause problems for that tow yard, or is it just kind of like, well, y'all moved in here and this tow yard was here?
Well, tow yard was already there. there would be a grandfathered use in that district. So their zoning can't be made retroactive, so you can't outzone them. They have to be recognized for their development right.
You know, and just a tidbit, but, you know, the owner was worried about, you know, this subdivision come. I said, pretty simple, just clear those trees out and let them see the tow yard and you won't sell a lot of it. Well, I don't want anybody to see what I'm doing, or you know what I mean. I said, well, it's pretty simple. You don't want houses there, just open it up and nobody will build there. Thank you, Todd.
Todd, will there be an opportunity for residents to come speak at the Planning
Yes, sir.
Commission for the subdivision when they goes through the approval process?
Yes, sir. Adjacent property owners will receive a direct bail
Okay, thank you.
when they apply.
Is it just those that touch the property, or
Yes, adjacent to.
just touching? So with that one, if Coach gets one, if he's touching it, he needs to let his neighbors know if they want to come and have some say in the planning process as to the plan when it's submitted. The right subdivision plan, sorry. Thank you.
Will be signage up, though? They'll have to put the big signs up?
No, the letter will go out, direct mail. Won't be.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. All right, thank you, Todd. All right, we've got a first and a second. If no other discussion, we'll call for a vote. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, item 12, Resolution 2026-64, entering into a commercial space lease agreement with Hudson Alpha Institute for Biotechnology for lease of certain space in the Wiregrass Innovation Center.
Motion approved.
Wow. All right. I guess no discussion there, and we'll go right on to all in favor? All right, opposed? Motion passes. 13, Resolution number 2026-65, entering into a workspace rental agreement with Cedatech, I'm going to say it wrong, for lease of certain space in the Wiregrass Innovation Center.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 14, Resolution number 2026-66, applying for a grant from the Spirit of Blue Foundation, accepting safety equipment items if awarded for use by the Dothan Police Department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution number 2026-67, entering into a memorandum of agreement with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency to become a sub-grantee and participant in the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 16 is resolution number 2026-68, applying for and accepting grant funding from the Bureau of Justice Assistance in the amount of $147,417 for expansion of the existing Crime Gun Intelligence Center.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 17 is resolution number 2026-69, applying for and accepting grant funding from the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation in the amount of $32,272.72 for the purchase of equipment for the Dothan Police Department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 18 is resolution number 2026-70, entering into a contract with Stripey's Officiating to provide officials for the 2026 Dothan Diamond Classic softball tournament.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. 19 is resolution number 2026-71, authorizing the city of Dothan to join as a participant in the new national opioids settlement, 6 remnant defendants settlement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just thank Kevin, Virginia legal office and engaging into this. I think we will be able to recover. So thank you.
Any other discussion? All right. All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 20 is resolution number 2026-72, entering into a terms and conditions agreement with G&W Electric Company for the purpose of purchasing materials as needed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 21 is resolution number 2026-73, entering into a terms and conditions agreement with Border States Industries, Inc. for the purpose of purchasing materials as needed.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 22 is resolution number 2026-74, entering into a terms and conditions agreement with Hubble Utility Solutions for the purpose of purchasing materials as needed.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 23 is resolution number 2026-75, entering into contracts with Capital International Productions, Inc., and the respective represented attraction to provide strolling performances during the city's America 250 celebration event on July 4th, 2026.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion?
We're going to have jugglers, folks. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. All right. All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 24 is resolution number 2026-76, entering into an agreement with Alabama Power for the right to grade in the right-of-way, provide curbing and barricades to existing equipment as needed to maintain liability insurance on the parcel located adjacent to the community center site on Ennis Road.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 25 is resolution number 2026-77, entering into a memorandum of understanding with Dothan Sports and Entertainment LLC related to the construction and use of a permanent structure on the premises of Rip Hughes Stadium.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion?
City Manager, can you just give a brief description of what this is for the public?
Yes, so the Dothan Dragons approached us about being able to build a pavilion there on the south end zone at Rip Hughes Stadium that they can use for their VIP area during soccer games and any other things that they have there. It'll be no cost to the city. They're paying for the pavilion as well as to have it installed.
Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion?
Thanks, Aaron, for
Yeah.
doing that, man. It's going to be a nice addition.
Thank you. Thanks, Aaron. All right, all in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, item 26 is resolution number 2026-78, declaring various Christmas decorations as surplus and no longer needed for the municipal purposes and authorizing the Leisure Services Department to donate said decorations to local municipalities.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 27, resolution number 2026-79, declaring a 2014 Ford F-150 a surplus and authorizing transfer to the town of Cottonwood.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 28, resolution number 2026-80, approving payment of invoices for the month of February 2026 in the amount of $27,149,047.34.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 29 is resolution number 2026-81, awarding bids and approving other purchases over $30,000 by the city.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 30, resolution number 2026-82, approving advanced travel requests for the city employees.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed?
Motion
All right.
adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
Here, if we've got anybody that's still left, they may have already left, and our Purple Heart recipients, that we've got a reception over at the Opera House. Y'all could, was Jason already left?
I think you did.
He already left, okay. Well, you were going to follow Jason, but Jason's gone, so you're on your own now to find the Opera House. So we'll have that reception starting as soon as we're done here. So, all right, City Manager, turn over the admin meeting to you.
Thank you, sir. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from March 3rd, 2026 meeting.
Motion approved.
All in favor? Second. All in favor?
Yay.
Opposed?
And we do have two privileges of the floor. First was Mr. Kevin Dorsey